Cell phones seem to be everywhere and are now a routine part of our lives. But when you carry that portable communications wonder, are you also carrying around a bug that could be listening in wherever you go? Well, probably not for most of us, but it is possible. News stories recently revealed that the FBI used ordinary cell phones to monitor the room conversations of suspects. This could be accomplished by changes to the phone's firmware, the internal software that makes them run, which might require physical access to the phone, or could even be done remotely in some cases, depending on the phone and the level of cellular company cooperation. Now, unless you're a mobster, terrorist, or perhaps a peace activist, you're not likely to be targeted this way by the authorities. But it's also possible that illicit bugs could be implemented the same way, and it's always worthwhile to know your technology, so let's look at some easy clues that might suggest that something unusual could be going on with your cell phone. The trick is to remember that everything done on these phones needs electricity, and that all comes from the batteries. These batteries will degrade over time and tend to give reduced service after many charges. But in general, if you suddenly notice that your phone's battery is running out much faster than usual, and you haven't been talking more, this could suggest that your phone is busily transmitting room conversations via its microphone while you thought it was idle, and so draining the battery more rapidly. In such a case, turning off the phone may not actually stop this behavior, since firmware could be altered to make a phone look like it was turned off when it was actually still on. Taking out the battery, though, is pretty much a sure thing to shut down all significant activity. And don't worry, there's not enough room in most modern cell phones for hidden extra batteries of a size that could do much more than keep the phone's clock running. A similar clue that your phone may be transmitting behind your back is if it just seems warmer than usual between calls. You've probably noticed that cell phones tend to get warm as you talk longer. This is normal while calls are in progress, but it would be very odd indeed if your phone didn't cool off some between calls. Both of these clues, especially the unusually rapid draining of the phone's battery, could also be indications that room audio is being recorded within the flash memory of the phone for later bulk transmission via the phone's data capabilities, and bulk transmission can be more difficult to detect. Modern phones can contain a lot of flash memory, so this is a real possibility. Finally, if you have a conventional GSM phone, the type used most around the world and the standard for both AT&T Singular and T-Mobile, your ears can tell you what's going on. You've probably heard the annoying GSM buzz interference that can leak into speakers and other audio equipment during calls. That's what an actual call sounds like, a continuing pulsed buzzing. If your phone was bugging you in real time, the transmission of the room audio would usually create this same sound. If you hear it between calls, that's a possible indication that your phone may have been compromised. Note that there is similar interference that can occur briefly between phone calls at various intervals for voicemail indications, text messages, and phone control updates to the mobile network. These can occur at any time, like these. But the continuous pulsing buzzing like this will normally only occur during calls or continuous data transmission, and that's the sound to be suspicious of if you hear it when your phone is supposedly idle. This interference listening technique is much less useful if you have a CDMA technology phone, like from Verizon or Sprint in the US, or if you're using a new 3G GSM phone in 3G mode, which also uses a type of CDMA technology. Since much less audible interference is produced from these phones, you may not be able to hear it at all. But the battery and heat-related clues from earlier will still likely work fine even in these cases. Your cell phone almost certainly isn't a bug, but it never hurts to know what is and isn't possible, especially with an expanding and powerful technology that most of us carry with us wherever we go.